Hi, I'm Ray and this is the PhoneArena Q&A. Let us kick things off with this question by our regular viewer Xperia Fanzone, which says, where will the S5 and Z2 announcement take place? First of all, these are going to be two separate announcements. I hope you know that. And then, while there hasn't been anything officially announced about this, there seems to be a good chance that the Galaxy S5 will be unveiled at a press conference at MWC. So we don't have an official confirmation about this yet, but especially when you factor in those unpacked 5 teasers that Samsung itself has been sending over the last 1 or 2 weeks, I think there's a good chance that we'll see the S5 at MWC. As for the Xperia Z2, we haven't seen anything about this one, at least not about a phone that's named Z2. But there's been the Sony Sirius handset, which has been leaking since, I don't know, forever maybe. And it shapes up to be probably something like an upgrade to the current Z1, and it's coming, I think, about half a year now after the Z1 got introduced, so it makes sense for Sony to stick with this half a year update cycle like it did with the Xperia Z and the Z1, and now probably the Sirius is going to arrive at MWC. It shapes up to be it won't be a radical step forward, but it's rumored to have a better screen, probably refined design, things like that. So you should definitely stay tuned to our coverage starting next week when MWC is going to kick off. Our next question comes from our user commentator, and it goes like this. What can we expect from the Android home screen? In 2013 and early 2014, we've already seen HTC, Google and Samsung change their launchers with the Blink Feed, Sense 5, Google Experience Launcher and Magazine UX respectively. Will the players with more traditional pages of icons and widgets such as LG or Sony start releasing their own differentiated takes on how an Android launcher should work? Now this is a rather complex question. Now I don't really see any specific tendencies establishing for the future of Android launchers or for the future of the home screen interface on mobile in general. It's true that there are some common new elements like HTC has Blink Feed as part of its home screen, and KitKat has Google Now as part of its home screen, but when you think about it, these features actually do completely different stuff. They don't have anything in common. Google Now is just your voice, personal smart voice assistant that's giving you information proactively, or at least it tries to. And then Blink Feed is just your RSS flipboard style feed with some Facebook and some calendar info in there. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, you can turn this thing off completely, and that's the beauty about it. Anyway, I digress. So I don't think that icons and widgets are going anywhere anytime soon. And one of our users actually commented that Windows is pushing the tile-based UI right now, and probably as a result of this we're now seeing things like the Magazine UX by Samsung, but I don't really agree with that, because we've had a Windows Phone for probably a few years now and it's practically failed to make a dent. It has about 3% market share, anything like that. So if it was that much better than anything else out there, I think it would have succeeded. But actually I think it's just it's not better, it's not worse, but it's just something different that's not better in any way. And this is why I don't think, that's why I don't believe in this tiled user interface thing. As far as the magazine UX by Samsung goes, we're yet to see this happen, you know, on real devices out there. I've played with it for a few minutes, though I obviously cannot give you any final judgment on it, but my impression is that it's nothing, absolutely nothing better than what we already have with those screen stuff icons and widgets. It's just a different visual representation that's not necessarily better. Random username wants to know, do you think we'll see phones like the Z1 Compact from other manufacturers in the foreseeable future? Now, I can easily say that I really hope so. You know, the Z1 Compact is a great phone in my opinion, because it's a AAA high-end smartphone with great hardware inside, packed in a small form factor, which is actually something that we don't have on the market besides the Z1 Compact. Such phones just ain't there besides the iPhone. So if you want to get a small phone, or relatively small phone, which has the premium experience in it, you either get an iPhone or you don't get anything, because such phones just aren't there. And now with the Z1 Compact, I don't know, I guess it depends on how well it's going to perform on the market. Hopefully people are still looking to buy such phones, because for years now I think we've had these gigantic phones and people have almost gotten used to them. So I don't know how a phone with a 4.3-inch display and premium hardware is going to sell on the market, but I certainly hope that it will do well, and it will be kind of interesting to see stuff from other manufacturers that's in the same league, you know, such as a Galaxy S5 Compact. Why not? That would be pretty interesting. But right now, besides the Z1 Compact, you really don't have those options. The HTC One Mini is close to that, but it's it also has its compromises there in terms of both build quality and features, and the Galaxy S4 Mini is just way weaker than that. You know, it has that QHD screen and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely hope so, but it would depend, and we'll see how well the Z1 Compact is going to fare. Darkerm is interested in knowing if the HTC One's Ultrapixel camera is good enough. Is HTC One's camera really that bad? I never used it in real life, and I'm planning to buy one soon. Now, I'm using Xperia S as my daily driver, and camera is the most important for me, and I need a camera that can capture good photos in low light or night. Is it a good idea to get the HTC One? Now, it really depends. I don't know what your understanding of good camera is, or what actually means to for the camera to be the most important for you, because you know, you might be just photographing everything in your life, like your girlfriend, that car over there, your house, your food, and so on, and just upload all of that stuff to Facebook, which downsizes every image either way. So in those cases, if that's what you need, a consumer camera, I think the HTC One will actually just be just fine for you, you know, even though it has those just 4 megapixels, and it's clearly lacking behind all of the other high-end stuff out there. It's going to be just fine, I think, if you're that kind of consumer that takes a lot of pictures, but then all that you do with those pictures is to, you know, share them with friends, showcase them on your computer, on your monitor, or upload them to Facebook, to Twitter, and stuff like that. In that case, sure, I think the HTC One has a pretty good enough camera. Now, if actually though having the camera is your most important feature means for you that you're taking your time with your shots, trying to capture the perfect frame, tinkering with the settings, trying to get the most out of your camera and things like that, and then you go home and download this picture to your PC, open it into Photoshop or GIMP or some other image processing software, and then play with it some more. I think in that case the HTC One will not fit the bill because, you know, it's clearly way behind other stuff out there like the Z1, like the G2, like the GS4, the Note 3, the iPhone, everything. The HTC One is just inferior in the camera department, and in that case it means you are a person who wants the most out of it. You need the detail, you need the accurate colors, no artifacts and stuff like that. So in that case, if this is the case, then I think you'd better look elsewhere and take some of the other flagships out there. So that was all for today's episode of the PhoneArena Q&A. Be sure to post your questions below for next time or in our Q&A post at phonearena.com.